In this video I will try to be as much aggressive as possible as the Australian player. Today I say no to boring turtling strats. This game is being played with my subscribers, so I know I'm playing with decent players here. None of them should be dumb enough to suicide for whatever reasons, like it usually happens in public lobbies with randoms. Let's have some fun today guys and attack each other as much as possible rather than turtling and expecting all the dirty work to be done by someone else. This game was hosted in the Risk Forever Discord server and I told the players basically the same that I've just told to you. So I hope they will be playing aggressive as well. Anyways, no Australia, no win guys. Even though I'm planning to be aggressive, I should still easily win because this the motto of most of the novices. Either get Australia at any cost or lose the game. The most of my troops were spawned in Australia and I have got lucky to capture it in my first turn, so we are going to have some fun today guys. As I say no to turtling at least to the point when one of the players will be eliminated from the game. I've just accepted the alliance request from the orange and purple players, but sadly had to decline the alliance request from the green player. As if I want to be aggressive, then I cannot have the alliances with all the players at once. So with the green player going for the biggest continent, the most reasonable decision was to attack him. While the orange and purple player continents give for them 2 and 3 troops respectively, or the same amount combined as Europe. So nothing personal green, but it would be just dumb to go for any other player while letting you grow so much stronger than us. Or not to attack anyone at all, and instead of that turtling, would just be boring. And with getting the smallest amount of troops from all of the players, I would be the one who have the highest chances to get eliminated first, either by you yourself, or the orange player if he got North America, as it seems he is so desperate to go for it. So let's fortify some more of troops into it. The orange player sent me a lot of hearts when I accepted the alliance request, but so far he was a very bad ally. I told him to attack green, but instead of that he just crushed a lot of territories of mine. And oh no, here we go again. I'm done with the orange player. He wants me to let him capture and hold both of the Americas while I'm attacking green. And that's not a mutually beneficial alliance. He wanted an alliance which only highly favored him, and since he crushed my troops I had no other choice but to break it with him. But I mean no hate. All the players have the right to make the moves which they think are the best for them, so that's totally fine. But now instead of an ally, the orange player is going to have me as an enemy. So currently I would rather get rid of the orange player than the green player. So this is why I sent an attack request to purple to attack orange, and additionally sent an alliance request to the green player which he accepted. But I'm just not sure if he considers me as an ally for real. His army in Asia is scaring me for a little bit, so I'm afraid if he has a set, then he might want to take Australia from me. But I mean that probably wouldn't be smart, as then we would both be taken out from the game. Anyways, I'm really glad that the purple player invaded orange into South America. That will really help me out attacking orange. And I'm actually surprised that he didn't take South America for himself. But that's good, as I might just take it for myself with both of the orange player armies being in North America. Let's switch the cards so I would get 2 extra troops in North America. And now let's move my army to South America, so I will be guaranteed to invade orange no matter anything in case my allies won't follow my attack requests. No matter where the orange player puts his armies, I will still be able to invade him. I sent the attack request to the purple player to attack green, because I noticed we both could really easily deal with 2 other players and potentially dominate the game together. But the purple player sent thumbs down to that request, and I mean that's totally understandable. As the African player of purple would risk much more than me, because the green player could easily retaliate by invading him to Africa, while I would be totally safe to hold Australia because of it only having 1 border. So I understand the purple player here. But since he turned down the request to attack green, I decided to stay as allies with the green player as well, and send to green an attack request to attack orange. And I'm really glad he followed my request. I wish he would have left his troops to Greenland rather than fortifying them inside of Europe, but that's fine. The most important thing that the orange player was invaded by someone else rather than me, so instead of adding my troops to Kamchatka to invade orange by myself, I was able to put them to South America and of course to capture it. And the purple player fails to invade orange. But that's not a problem at all because I'm going to invade him by myself, or even completely take him out. I'm glad the purple player moved his biggest army away from my border, meaning that he trusts me as an ally. And come on green. Don't you ever think. I know what you want to do. Let's send him some love guys, so he would change his mind. And phew. The love sending 1000 IQ strat has worked out. I'm pretty sure he wanted to take Australia from me, but he changed his decision and invaded orange. Or I'm not sure, maybe he just wanted to tease me. Anyways, let's decline the alliance from the orange player, just for a simple fact that I'm taking him out. Simple as that guys, right? And here we go Phyllis. My biggest enemy who was supposed to be the best ally due to the fact that he was sending so many hearts to me, has been finally defeated. Well, it could have been green instead of him, but since he turned on me I had no other choice but to turn on him as well, with him crushing some of my troops and trying to become too strong. Anyways, the purple player has just taken South America from me and that's totally fine. It was not guarded at all and I had no troops in it whatsoever. So the purple player saw the opportunity and took it. I'm wondering if the players let me hold North America though. I'm just going to capture it without even properly guarding or threatening them at all. I mean the purple player lets green hold unguarded Europe, so I'm wondering if he let me hold North America as well. Let's see. Alright, he won't. He isn't a good ally anymore, so let's break the alliance with him. The green player will be my best ally instead, well, at least I would like to hope so. So since the purple player isn't attacking green, I'm not going to attack him as well. Since the purple player didn't leave his army in North America, I'm going to recapture the continent, bringing my North American army here. I'm really wondering how the purple player is going to react to it. Will he crush my army, which probably would be a very bad decision as it would give a good advantage to the green player, or not? Or I mean the purple player could safely invade me into North America by attacking from Iceland, but then he would have to go through green, who is probably the ally of both of us. It really seems so. The purple player doesn't want to invade him into Europe as well as me neither, and the green player seems to be just turtling into Europe, trying to play as passively as he can, because otherwise he knows he would be invaded into Europe by one of us. Well, not anymore, he wants to be passive. He possibly have a big plan in his mind. But as of now I'm just not that sure what it is. But the good thing is that his big army is only reachable to attack purple, so I don't really that much worry as of now, as he might just use it to attack purple. I especially keep building a big army on purple's border so the green player would think that I want to attack him. And if the green player thinks that I want to attack purple, then I think he won't be considering to invade me. I want that the green player would see purple as both of our enemy. And oh well. I've just got betrayed by him as well. And you Brutus. How could you? Well, now I'm officially betrayed by all of the three players at least once. But I mean that's fine, the game won't be such a stalemate anymore. It's very boring when nobody attacks anyone when player borders are not guarded at all. So it's very good that he invaded me. After I've got invaded, the purple player sent me an alliance request to me, which I accepted, but of course I'm not going to trust the purple player too much, as I think he wouldn't hesitate to invade me into North America again, with him having a potential opportunity to do so. So I accepted the alliance request, but left a proper army on my border with him, so he wouldn't be able to just simply invade me in case if I didn't guard it at all. Anyways, the purple player was smart to make the green player's army to be accessible to my 6 troops, so the green player was able to easily recapture Europe, while I ended up with losing 6 troops. So knowing the purple player tactics, this time I left no troops into Europe, hoping that the green player won't consider crushing my army if I leave them on my border instead. But oh no, purple, you are being a naughty boy. The purple player at one hand pretends to be a good ally by attacking lots of green territories, but on the other hand specially makes my troops accessible to the green player's biggest army. So the purple player is being very sneaky. And OMG guys. I cannot believe that my Australian army has just been crushed. Well, actually I saw that coming after the purple player making the green player the way, but I just hoped that the green player wasn't going to take Australia from me this turn, so I would have been able to successfully save my troops by moving them to North America. And come on purple, come on you sneaky boy. You made the green player's biggest army accessible to me again. Well, hopefully the green player won't be dumb enough to crush my army, as I think it would very likely break the balance of the game into the purple player's favor. Well, the purple player is very smart by using this 1000 IQ strat by unleashing one opponent's biggest army, so that opponent would potentially crush other opponent's troops, and making everything look in the way in which it wouldn't be obvious for both of his opponents. But anyways, now let's truly see who he considers as his best ally, or whether he actually treats both of us equally, as the green player has just captured Asia while I Europe, and we don't guard these continents at all, so he could invade both of us. And he invades me, and only me. After he invaded me I said to him to attack my territory if you need to, indicating that it's fine with me of getting invaded in Europe, but I really hoped that he invades the green player as well. But since he didn't, I really think he was green's ally all the time. The green player has never invaded purple into Africa even though he easily could, and the purple player was unleashing the green player's biggest army, so he would crush my troops. But I mean I'm fine of the green player holding Asia for a few turns, as after him crushing my Australian troops, we became quite weaker than purple. So I think it was a mistake for purple not to invade green, because if he had invaded him, then he would have stayed quite much stronger than us, and the balance of the game wouldn't be that much sustained. He would have been able to potentially betray me by invading me into North America. But after the green player held Asia for a couple of turns, now I feel much more safer towards the balance of the game, as I know that the purple player isn't going to dominate the game easily anymore as he potentially was able to. I still decided to invade green into Asia, so he would stay as the weakest player. After I invaded him, he sent me heart and thumbs up emojis, so I assumed it was fine with him. So because he sent me these emojis, I sent him an attack request to potentially attack purple without really expecting him to follow the request, as obviously I just invaded him. But if he had attacked purple into Africa, then I would have potentially attacked purple into South America, crushing one of his biggest armies. And I mean Europe is in the middle of the map and has even 4 borders, so if anything we will be able to invade green, while comparing to Asia which could be held with only 3 borders to guard and be potentially hard to invade, especially when the player properly guards all 3 borders, and you should be very careful in order not to break the balance of the game. So I don't know. Since the purple player has never attacked green into his continents after the orange player was eliminated from the game, even with green not guarding his borders, like it is now, or like if we remember when green was holding Asia, I just cannot attack green by myself all the time alone, so I think at this point of the game I just cannot really do anything good, as neither purple wants to team up with me on green besides from time to time taking a lot of his territories, nor the green player wants to team up with me to attack purple, but I mean he is still the weakest, and if he attacks one of us, then his Europe will be easily invaded. So at the end it's more about of purple not wanting to team up with me, or not even wanting to invade green into his unguarded continents even once. Or I mean I could invade purple into South America, I was really considering doing so all the time, but since I guessed that he still wouldn't attack green, I think the green player would be really in advantage, unless I would attack him by myself, but if I attack the green player alone once again, then I would just be sacrificing myself for other players' good. Well, I hate the stalemate situations and boring games in overall, so to get out of the stalemate situation I think I will have to be that person again who initiates all the attacks when everyone wants just to turtle, so the game would be finally alive once again. So let's just attack both of my opponents. The purple player is stronger than green, so it makes sense to crush more of his troops, so my opponents would be more or less equally strong without any of them having a bigger advantage against other. I fortified my troops to my North American army next to purple's border, so he might be potentially scared of me crushing his army, so he would decide to move it from South America. It seems purple is the player who invades others into the continents the least, so in order for the game not to be such stalemate, it would be the best that he would be the one who doesn't have any continent at all. As if the most passive player is being one of the strongest, then the game could be really led to the stalemate with him barely making any attacks. Obviously I cannot let green hold so much stuff, so I have to attack him, but I will invade the purple player as well. I want that he would properly guard if he want to hold the continents, and I also want that we all would start attacking each other as much as possible. I especially didn't invade the green player into Asia, so the purple player would finally invade the green player by himself at least once. And thank God he has finally invaded him this time. So I think it might finally be the time when we start attacking each other properly. Assuming the green player invades the purple player as well. And no dice, absolutely no dice for the green player. There are rumors going around that the dice hate him. And come on, attack me, green. Yes. And here we go, you even invaded purple. Anyways, I have to move my army out from the purple player's border, as if we keep both of our armies here, then the green player could take the advantage over us by taking and properly guarding Asia. So it's better not to leave our armies like that, where we couldn't properly be accessible to attack the green player, as some bad things could happen. So anyways, at this point of the game it would be good if we kept attacking each other. We need that we would have less and less troops each turn, so we could finally conclude the game. As if we just let each other hold unguarded continents to have more and more troops, then the game will just prolong, the troop numbers will be increasing, but we will still have pretty much the same decision space. So there's no really a good purpose to let each other grow strong unless we have some plan in mind. But to be honest, I really doubt that either purple or green do. I've just invaded purple into Africa because the green player has refused doing so by himself, and of course invaded the green player himself into his newly captured North America. Then fortified my army to Middle East, so I would be able to invade the purple player into Africa again in case the purple player wouldn't once again. And of course to have my army somewhere in the middle of the map, rather than in some very isolated place. Since the purple player moved his army out from Africa, I came up with a plan. I will capture all the purple territories in Africa, leaving my biggest army in the territory of North Africa, so the purple player would be forced to attack the green player into North America. I noticed that my opponents are attacking me much more than attacking each other. From time to time they let each other hold continents, and that's bad as well as for me, as well as for the game not to be such a stalemate. So I want that my opponents will start attacking each other a lot of too, rather that from time to time they would let each other hold unguarded continents. The purple player is seriously overguarding against me, while wouldn't mind for the green player to capture big continents. As the weakest player I wouldn't have even considered breaking into South America even if purple had left an army which is twice as weak as my army. So since not wanting for the green player to get an advantage by my and purple's armies being blocked next to each other, I decided to move out my army, so the green player wouldn't be able to capture big continents and managing to properly guard them at the same time. Well, if purple player had been a Grandmaster, then I would have considered leaving my biggest army in North Africa, but since he is intermediate I decided to rather move it out, so I wouldn't be destroyed within, potentially thinking that it would be a good move to take my army down. So I decided not to risk it, and also like I said it would be the best for the game, that I and purple didn't block our armies, so a huge advantage potentially wouldn't be given away for the green player. I moved to North America, and I think at this point of the game I have no other really a good choice but just to stay passive. I tried initiating lots of attacks, including the capture of lots of territories, but all my efforts basically went in vain. The players were paying much more attention to attacking me rather than everyone equally, while letting each other hold continents from time to time, so at the end I ended up as the weakest player. So since being as much aggressive as possible didn't work out, the another option is to start being as passive as possible. I cannot really much do unless they start attacking each other as much as possible as well. And I'm the weakest player anyways, who is quite weaker than others, so one way or another ideally I shouldn't making any attacks whatsoever. So now I'm just capturing one territory per turn in North America in the way that my army wouldn't become blocked from both of my accessible sides. And don't get me wrong guys. It could actually be very good for two players to team up on one of the players while letting each other hold continents. It's their choice what to do. Like at this point of the game they could crush all the troops they get into my army, so I'd be forced to start making attacks again in order not to be completely crushed just in a few turns with one of them being able to afford taking me out from the game. But for me being passive it seems to work out good. The players have finally started paying much more attention to each other. Well, it seems the purple player would prefer if they both turtle, but the green player keeps invading him into Europe and that's really good. I don't want for the game to become a very boring stalemate. But here we go guys. The purple player has finally attacked the green player into Asia as well. I really like it. And what I really like even more, is that he moved his army from North Africa, meaning that I can take South America and prevent him of holding continents. And I mean at this point of the game I really forced to attack the purple player into South America and Africa, with the green player moving and having all of his troops into Australia blocked. As if I wouldn't have invaded purple now, then he would have recaptured Europe again and would have properly guarded it again with the green player isn't being able to invade him because of his army being blocked, so unless I would have unleashed his army. But since I could have invaded purple into South America without breaking the balance of the game myself, it was fine for me to invade the purple player by myself too. But ideally the green player could have crushed more of purple's troops, so all three of us would have ended up being more or less equally strong. But since it didn't happen, I think this is why it was a bad decision for the purple player to try manual rolling my army. Even though the purple player hates the fact that I invaded him into his continents and at the same time took South America from him, we should try playing by the balance of the game rather than by emotions. The green player was much more stronger than us. So we wouldn't have wanted to accidentally break the balance of the game, and with purple properly guarding Europe, I wouldn't have invaded him anyways, as with the green player being quite stronger than us it would have been just very dumb. Well, the purple player could have just invaded me into unguarded Europe from his side, but I'm glad he didn't, and instead of that he made green's smaller army to be accessible to my border, so the green player would have done the dirty work by himself. And with the green player still being the strongest one, it would have been completely fine for him to waste his troops on me. So I'm even more glad that he didn't invade me when he completely could. Well, currently I'm kinda afraid being invaded by green and losing lots of troops from whichever side, especially from Africa. As whatever happens I would like to keep South America for myself. Well, let's invade the green player anyways, and fortify some troops from my Central American army which isn't really active as of now, to my North African army. As I doubt the green player would crush so many troops, but if he invades me from Asia, then it should be more or less fine. Well, the purple player finally was a very good ally and didn't make the green player's armies accessible to invade me. Now if the green player wants to attack me with his biggest army, then he firstly will need to go through purple's armies. Obviously he won't do it though. And alright, the green player blocked his biggest army once again. Hopefully the purple player won't unleash it to potentially make the green player attack me from Asia. And I really like it guys. The purple player has finally stopped making green players' armies to be accessible to attack me, or especially unleashing them at all. So as you can see I'm really taking the advantage of this situation since the purple player doesn't invade me into North America either. But on the other hand I still don't get as many troops as both of them with them having a lot of territories. Well, the purple player has just broken his alliance with me. He is such a nice person to let me know that he is going to attack me beforehand. Well, I mean I assume he wants to invade me into North America. And if it's correct, then it was a really big mistake to let me know that beforehand, as I was able to counter the possibly coming invasion by fortifying my Central American army to Greenland. And OMG guys! I cannot believe that the green player has just crushed a stack of purple's troops at the same time invading him into Europe. I think green will really help me dominate the game. LOL, it couldn't be better, that's really great. By the way, give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm if you're enjoying watching it so far. As well as if you find my tips and tricks helpful and appreciate the shared thoughts behind my strategy. And now let's get back to the gameplay. I hope green will continue turtling while I will be dealing with the rest of purple player stacks. Or if he keeps attacking purple, then it will be even better for me. He will be just basically doing the dirty work for me when he really shouldn't. And who knows, at the end I might be even able to pull the 4 continents endgame strategy against him. It's the strategy which you use against blocked Australian players in the endgame. You capture both of the Americas, Europe, and Africa, while only having 3 borders to guard, the territories of Ukraine, Middle East, and either Alaska or Kamchatka. So for that turn you get a lot of troops with the Australian player's biggest army being blocked. And oh no guys! The purple player has just broken the balance of the game. The green player currently has more troops than both of us combined. And to be honest, I don't really think that purple realizes that, since he still fortified his army to North Africa to invade my continent's next turn. Or maybe differently, he realized that, and specially fortified his army there. So my continents would stay protected. In any case, I have to attack green. To get a better blitz roll, I decided to crush his Australian army, even though I don't know. Maybe it would been smarter to crush my army into the biggest green's army, so his Australian troops would have been kept blocked, meaning that he wouldn't have been able to take any one of us out, but now he is able to with his biggest army being unleashed. So maybe I should have weakened this army instead. But it is what it is. Thank God the purple player has accepted my alliance request and didn't proceed to attack me into Americas. Probably he shouldn't have taken Australia from me, as now every troop matters, but whatever, let's see what happens. And OMG, the green player is taking the purple player out. But ends up of blocking his army. Well, not really, because he could still go the other way around. He started sending some chat phrases and emojis, so I started sending some too, so he would be more distracted and might even run out of time. And wow! I've got so lucky. Green neither finished taking purple out, nor invaded me into both of the Americas. And that's a really big oof. So maybe the game after all hasn't been lost yet. I was thinking whether I should take the purple player out or not, because I wouldn't be able to trade in a set in the same turn. But I decided it's better not to leave him with even 4 cards for green. I hope the green player won't be able to take me in a single turn out though. I realized that I forgot to add some troops to China to invade green into Australia, but whatever, it probably given me the better odds blitzing his biggest army. And phew, the green player doesn't have a set. I decided to put these 3 troops in a blocked place in the territory of Japan, thinking that if the green player has a set at 3 cards, then he might still miss that 3 troops territory, leaving it behind. I mean, I didn't know whether with him having a set he would have been able to fully take me out, but I had to make my decision quickly. And wow! Now I realize that the decision to take the purple player out rather than leaving him to green was absolutely amazing. I think I've already took over the advantage over him and won't be struggling a lot. And wow! He doesn't even have a set at 4 cards. So it does guarantee me a victory. Good game you all. Huge thanks to all of the 3 players for playing. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, then I would recommend checking some of these out as well. Watching more videos will help you to progress so much faster. Highly increase your skills by simply watching Risk videos.